Good morning. How are we all? Most of my life, up until probably the last few years, I tried to make myself invisible. I was so lacking in self-confidence and self-worth that, I really didn't want to be noticed. I didn't want anybody to ask me something that I would answer and make a fool of myself with. I was just agreeable. And, I see even now in my life places where I'll be with other people and I feel invisible. And even back then, it used to upset me that people never really went out of their way to talk to me, to interact. And, I know it was all my own doing. But then when, you kind of start to discover yourself and you build your confidence and you want to have a voice and you want to be included, you want to be part of, especially with your own family. You want that inclusion, and they've stopped asking you questions because they know your answers. You've always been agreeable. They kind of know up front what you're gonna say. And I still notice that occasionally, where I feel like I'm not valued or I'm not important in that conversation, or I'm not included in whatever's going on. And it's easy to get hurt by it, but the thing is, we've got to remember that life is actually a meeting with ourselves. It always is. Every experience we have, we're having to find new parts of ourselves, to know ourselves better. Every person we meet is another part of ourselves. And, we are meeting more of ourselves through what we call other people, through what we call experiences, through what we call interaction, whether it be interaction with a person or with an animal or with an object. When we buy something or we play with something, that's an interaction and there's an energy exchange. So, it's worth us looking at those situations where we feel invisible, where we feel uncomfortable, where we feel hurt, because it's those places where we haven't allowed ourselves to know ourselves. And the only way we can change those situations of feeling invisible is to speak up, is to say something to the relevant people, but not until we've done the work on ourselves. So I invite you all to look at the areas in your lives where you get upset. Look at the areas in your lives where things aren't quite how you want them to be. And ask, what part of yourself have you not explored yet? What part of yourself haven't you met? If life is a meeting between you and you, what part isn't showing up? I can tell you, the soul, our inner being, is always there. The part that's not showing up is the part that wants to keep its head in the sand. And we overlook a lot of situations. We take them at surface value and we don't look into what they are and what's going on and what it really means. You know, life is supporting us. That means that absolutely everything that we go through, that we encounter, that we bump against, is offering us a gift, is supporting us in becoming more of ourselves. But we've got to be prepared to look, and that comes through awareness. So, you know, we've got to be aware enough to not brush it off, to not blame somebody else, but actually realize that it's us interacting with us, and to look within. So have a beautiful day. I'm sorry I've been a little bit absent in this group for a little while. I've had so much on my plate. I've been, you know, really spending a lot of time with myself. And, you know, I feel like I've ignored you all a little bit. But the thing is, all of you are me too, you know. So I'm interacting with myself through all of you, and I'd love you all to interact with me through this group as well. You know, have your say, introduce yourselves, say hello. You know, it's so important to have conversations that matter, and I opened this group so that we could have conversations that matter. And sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to myself. I know there's a few of you there that regularly interact, and I appreciate that greatly. But say hello, even if it's just a few words, written or video. I'd love to hear from you, to see you. And I know this time of year is hectic. I know everybody has a lot on their plate, and it's not always an easy time of year. But it's a lot easier if you've got someone to talk to. So have a beautiful day, and let's chat again soon. Bye for now.